The most competent people don't get promoted, and we know this from a giant meta-analysis of 222 studies. A meta-analysis is a study of a bunch of other studies. So if you have a meta-analysis of 222 studies, this is quite good science. What they found is that individuals who are high in extroversion and high in conscientiousness are much more likely to get promoted than people who are high in competence. And so extroversion and conscientiousness are much more predictive of promotion. Conscientiousness basically means that you're reliable, you stick to things, and we can trust your word. Extroversion, when it comes to personality psychology, means the ability to experience positive emotion. So it doesn't mean being social. And the reason that this is the most indicative quality in getting promoted is because when people look for leaders, they look for people who make them feel certain. And the problem with very competent people is that they actually have a lot of ambiguity in their mind. And that's what makes them so intelligent, is that they can hold so much ambiguity in their mind. The problem is that typically competent people can hold much more ambiguity in their mind than the average person. And that's actually a bad thing when it comes to leadership, because when you're speaking to like the average person, and I don't mean average in like a derogatory way, I mean like scientifically average. When you're speaking to an average person who can't hold as much ambiguity in their mind as you basically make them feel uncertain. You make them feel nervous. You make them feel anxious. And they don't want to follow you. They're scared. And so when you present them with all these like ambiguous ideas that you can hold in your mind and be okay, they can't. And they can't, like, they don't understand what's going on. And so if you want to lead people better, you need to consider yourself a merchant of hope and certainty. And what that means is that you need to present positive solutions for the future that people can really feel hopeful for and that they can also feel certain about. They don't want your like dissertation on what could happen and why and what's good to do and what's not and all the ambiguities and details. You might really enjoy that as a highly competent, intelligent person, but they don't. Like the average person does not enjoy that, and it makes them feel scared, and they just don't want to follow that. And of course they wouldn't articulate it that way, but that's actually what's going on. We just can't handle that level of ambiguity as people. And as the rate of change in our world increases, people are gonna dislike ambiguity more and more. We know historically that when we experience a high amount of change in the world, we typically choose leaders that are even more certain. So certainty is going to be an important currency these days, certainty and hope. And so every time you're interacting with your team, with your manager, whatever, you need to consider, how am I making this person feel? And am I instilling a feeling of hope and certainty in them? Because that's actually what's going to be important in a leadership role. And like some of the most intelligent, competent people in the world don't understand this because they can hold so much ambiguity in their mind and be okay with it.